Hi guys, a very good day to all of you. We are meeting again. English exam is just around the corner and we are meeting for a very fruitful session this time. We will be discussing in this lecture the most important English grammar topics that we need to be covering for the upcoming preparatory as well as the final exam. Okay, so the last minute concise grammar elucidation class. Hello, this is your very own Darryl Matthew George, DMG. Very good day to all of you. So let's begin the class. Okay. So this is the topics that we discussed in the previous classes. This will be your grammar portions. Okay, the grammar syllabus for the board exam. Okay, that you'll have to be covering. So all of this cannot be covered in one lecture. So we have selected the most important mandatory short questions which we will be discussing in this class. So stay tuned, listen carefully. So all your doubts will be clarified. Moving on. Okay, so these are the most important topics, short questions that we will be covering in this session. Okay, so 5 topics in all from the grammar part. In total 28 marks in your preparatory as well as final exam will be covered from these 5 topics. Okay, very important short questions. Okay, so listen up carefully. So first and foremost, matching the pronoun to the noun and noun phrases. Okay, this question will most probably be in part A of your question paper. It's a match the following question. Next we have reported speech. Reported speech will most probably be in part D of your question paper, and that is a short 5-mark question. Next you have letter of application. Okay, in the previous classes we discussed letter of application is basically your formal letter plus the resume. Okay, short 5-mark question. Next you have the comprehension. Okay, the reading comprehension, you'll be given an OR question, section C. Okay, as you can see, among all the questions, reading comprehension carries the most weightage, 9 marks in all. So it's an OR question. Section C has one unseen passage or unseen poem. Okay, as we discussed in the previous classes. The 5th is linkers. Okay, again a 4-mark, a small passage will be given, an excerpt and blanks. Okay, you have to fill in the blanks with the linkers given in the brackets below. Okay, so a bracket with a set of linkers will be given. You have to fill in the blanks with the appropriate linkers. No linker can be repeated twice. It's a 4-marker question. So in total we'll be covering 28 marks from your preparatory as well as your board exam. So listen up carefully. Moving on. So reading comprehension. Okay, 9 marks reading comprehension. So to the CBSE and ICSE students, reading comprehension was a lot more difficult to you guys, especially when you guys were preparing for the 10th board exam, because you guys not just had to read the comprehension, you had to analyze them and write the answers. Okay, but coming to the PUC reading comprehension questions, these are very easy. Okay, toned down to the basic level, meaning you don't have to waste much time on the reading comprehension. Okay, so almost all the questions will have direct answers given in the unseen passage or the poem. I repeat, you get direct answers in the unseen passage or poem. So here are some tips and tricks that you need to follow when countering the reading comprehension questions. Okay, what I notice is a lot of students tend to waste so much time in reading comprehension. Okay, it's just a 9-mark question. You don't have to waste unnecessary time. Okay, so please pay attention to these tips and tricks. The first tip that you should follow: do not read the passage or poem first. Okay, so this is what you people tend to do. You read the passage or the poem in the excitement. Okay, you guys start with the questions. Okay, don't waste your time reading the passage or the poem. Read the questions first. A set of 8 or 9 questions will be given to you. Read the questions once, if not twice. Okay, that way you will have a rough idea of the questions. Okay, then proceed with reading the unseen passage or the poem. And how does that help? Well, when you read the questions and then proceed with the unseen passage or the poem, it saves a lot of time, because there will be a lot of parts of the passage or the poem that may not have the answers. Okay, so unnecessarily reading them only wastes a lot of time. Now all the 8 questions or the answers to the 9 or 8 questions would be in the first few paragraphs. So simply by reading the questions and then proceeding with the answer, reading the unseen passage will save a lot of time. Okay, so the second tip that I would like to give you is, do not memorize the passage. Okay, the passage is given only for exam purpose. Okay, you read the passage, you write the answers, and done. You don't have to memorize the passage, because in future this unseen passage or poem is not going to help you. So your basic aim should be to tackle the unseen passage or poem by simply writing the answers. Okay, save as much time as possible. So which brings me back to again the first tip that I gave you, where you don't have to memorize the passage or the poem. Okay, your aim, keep in mind, should only be to write the answers as fast as possible. Okay, as I said in the beginning, the reading comprehension answers, especially in PUC, you get direct answers. Okay, you don't have to analyze and write your own answers. The answers to the questions are given in the passage itself. Okay, moving on. Third important tip that I would like to give is, do not waste time on reading comprehensions that you cannot make sense of. Some reading comprehensions, the chances are very less. Usually they give very easy reading comprehensions or poems to you. But suppose they give you a very difficult reading comprehension, okay? So, an excerpt from a book or a famous novel or a famous poem, okay? And you cannot understand, you cannot you cannot analyze or comprehend the passage or the poem given to you. What then? Okay, you will sit there and read it again and again, and you end up wasting a lot of time. Okay, all that for 9 marks? Not needed. Okay, so see the weightage of the sections. As I said in the previous classes, section A carries 20 marks, section B 30 marks, section C is only for 9 marks, section D 16 marks, section E is for 5 marks. So wasting more than an hour for section C is not going to pay off. So if you cannot comprehend the unseen passage, as simple as that, just skip it, leave it to the end. Okay, moving on. So here is a sample reading comprehension passage, a very simple passage. So I'm not going to start with the passage, I'm going to read the questions and then proceed with the passage. Okay, what does Tim have is the first question. What is the name of the dog is the second question. So now let us read. Tim has a big red ball. I have the answer here. Tim has a big red ball is the answer. I have written that. Okay, moving on. He likes to play with his dog Max. What is the name of the dog? Max. Done. Finished. The last 2 sentences, do I have to read them? No. This is the exact same thing that you should employ in the exam as well. Okay, you see how the last 2 sentences hold no purpose here in the exam, because the answers to these 2 questions are there in the first 2 sentences itself, which is why, keep in mind, read the questions and then proceed with the reading comprehension. All right, okay, moving on. The next most important part of your English grammar is match the pronoun to the noun or noun phrases. A 5-mark question that will most probably be placed in section A. Okay, section A, 5 marks for this question alone. Okay, so you have to read the passage. A passage will be given to you, an excerpt or an unseen passage, a very small passage, roughly 3 to 4 sentences. That's it. Okay, so you have to read the passage and analyze it. Okay, and you have to scan through the noun and the noun phrases. So the passage will be given to you, and below that you will be given 2 columns. Okay, column A and column B. Column A will have the set of pronouns. Okay, the pronouns that are seen in the passage. So as you read the passage, you will find some highlighted words, the highlighted pronouns. Those same highlighted pronouns are given in column A. And in column B, you will be given noun or the noun phrases. Okay, you have to match the respective pronouns to the nouns or noun phrases. Okay, just read the passage, and as you read contextually, with respect to the context, you will understand what pronoun fits what noun in column B. Okay, we'll solve a question. So here is the question. Oliver Goldsmith was sometimes called Dr. Goldsmith because he. So, because he here refers to none other than Oliver Goldsmith. So, here is your answer. Yeah. So, he here refers to Oliver Goldsmith. Had studied medicine. One day, a poor woman called at his house. So, who is his now? Oliver Goldsmith's. Okay, Goldsmith's house. And she, okay, she would refer to obviously the poor woman. And asked him if he would come to see her husband. Who? The who refers to the husband. Her husband. Who was sick and would not eat any food. Smith gave her a small box which had money in it. So, which would refer to a small box. Okay. So, do you simply match the following? No. You have to write the respective options in column A with their with the noun or noun phrases in column B. So, how do you write the answers in the exam? So, you write so this is how you write the answers. Okay, are the answers correct? Check again. Okay, so this is how you should write the answers. Do not simply match the following and leave it there. Okay, you can match the following in a question paper, but the answers should be written like this in the answer sheet. Okay, keep this in mind. Very easy question, but the weightage is very high. It carries 5 marks. Okay, moving on. Moving on to the next slide. Linkers. Okay, linkers are another important part of the English grammar, again part of your syllabus. Okay, so linkers are words or phrases that we use to link, that is connect or join ideas. Okay, you have a sentence given. It was raining, I stayed at home. Okay, so 2 sentences are given. It was raining, I stayed at home. Okay, in this example we can see that the first idea, it was raining, is the reason for the second idea, I stayed at home. Okay, or I stayed at home is a result of it was raining. We can use linkers such as so or therefore to make the relationship between the 2 ideas clear. It was raining, so I stayed at home. So here we can see that a linker is used. It was raining, so I stayed at home. The second example, it was raining, therefore I stayed at home. Okay, so again another linker. So where do we use a linker? Basically 2 sentences are given. Okay, if one sentence is a direct result of the first sentence or vice versa, okay, then you use a linker. I fell down, one sentence, and the next sentence, I broke my leg. Okay, so you have 2 sentences. I fell down, I broke my leg. So how do I link it? I fell down and broke my leg. Okay, so the first sentence is a direct result of the second sentence. Okay, so I broke my leg because I fell down. I can write the same. Okay, so if 2 sentences wherein one sentence is a direct result of the other, then rather than separately writing them, you use linkers. Okay, so here is one example. Here is another example. We could also change the order and put the result before the reason and use a linker such as because. Okay, I stayed at home because it was raining. So it's the same thing, but the order is reversed. Okay, I stayed at home because it was raining. So here the linker because is used. So the second sentence comes first. If the second sentence comes first, you use because most often. Okay, I stayed at home because it was raining. The linkers so, because and therefore show a relationship of reason and result or cause and effect. Similarly, there are a lot more linkers given in your streams workbook. We'll solve one question. Okay, here is a question. Literature is a dream. our past is nothing. So our past is nothing but comes first, okay? Our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. Nothing but is usually most used together, okay? Nothing but a dash, nothing but this, nothing but, it's a phrase most commonly used. So our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. There is no difference between dreaming, dash, remembering the past, okay? So what do I use? So among the linkers given, the most suitable one would be and, okay? So between dreaming and remembering the past. Books are the great memory of all centuries. Okay, so literature is a dream. Our past is nothing but a sequence of dreams. There is no difference between dreaming and remembering the past. Books are the great memory of all centuries. Therefore, okay, therefore their function is irreplaceable. Therefore, their function is irreplaceable. Dash books disappear. So you have only one linker left. So obviously it will be if. So if books disappear, surely history would disappear and surely man would disappear. So keep this in mind, okay? And is conjunction. You basically join two sentences, okay? With and you don't necessarily need to have a condition. Any two sentences can be joined with and or, okay? Something like if or but are conditional, okay? One sentence and another sentence, okay, if they have to coexist, there has to be a condition. So these conditional sentences, when these conditional sentences come, you use if or but, okay? Linkers like these, okay? So moving on. One of the most important parts, and a short question this time as well, is reported speech. A lot of you make mistakes with respect to reported speech, okay? And this time we thought we'll give a very concise, very detailed, study and explanation on reported speech, okay? So what is basically reported speech, okay? So imagine or keep in mind that there is a conversation going on between person A and person B, okay? Person A and person B are talking to each other, or let's say person A is saying something to person B, okay? Now there is a person C. Say I am person C, okay? I am person C. Person A is telling something to person B. I am unaware of it, I did not hear it. But I saw, that is me, person C, I saw person A talking to person B. So now I go to person B and ask him what person A told him, okay? Or if I am the third person who listened to these two talking to each other, okay, then also I can use reported speech, okay? In both these scenarios, reported speech can be used. I'll explain again. Suppose as person C, I listen to A talking to B, okay? And I listen to the entire conversation, okay? I am not supposed to, but I listen to their conversation anyway. So A is talking to B, and B also tells something. Now another person, say my friend D, he comes to me and he asks, what did A tell to B? Okay. Now I cannot directly tell what they told, okay? So what do? I use reported speech. Person A said that, so and so, so. So person B replied that, so and so. But if I have to use reported speech, there are some conditions or some rules I need to keep in mind. I cannot simply report anything, okay? So these rules you have to keep in mind. It's a set of rules, just like in the rules you keep in mind when you solve maths or science questions, okay? Very simple rules, because English, of course, is an easy subject for most of you. And I know that you guys will pick up once this class is done also, okay? So moving on. Okay, so when do we use reported speech? Sometimes someone says a sentence, for example, I am going to the cinema tonight. Later, maybe we want to tell someone else what the first person said. So person A, as I said earlier, tells something. So direct speech, what would the person say? I like ice cream. So I like ice cream is direct speech. Say I am saying it or somebody else is saying it. I like ice cream. Now how do I report it? Okay, how do I report it? So I heard somebody else say I like ice cream. So another person comes and tells me or asks me, what did that person say? So what do I tell him? She said that she liked ice cream. So I cannot simply say she said that she likes ice cream. No, she said that she liked ice cream. So here you can notice a tense change. So I like ice cream is in one tense and she liked ice cream is in another tense. What is the tense of I like ice cream? Present. Okay, what present? Simple present. I like ice cream is in the simple present tense. Okay, so when I'm reporting it, say she said that she liked ice cream, so I'm reporting it. So what would the tense be if I report simple present to say this? What is the tense? She said that she liked ice cream. That becomes simple past. Okay, so simple present becomes simple past. I cannot simply say she said that she likes ice cream. That's wrong. Why? Because whatever she said happened some time ago. So I have to report it in the past itself, because she said that long back. Say she would have said that 10 minutes back, or she would have said that 20 minutes back. So I have to report it. So I am reporting it in the present, whatever she said. So I have to use past tense. This is something that you people should keep in mind. Okay. So so here are some examples. Direct request. Please help me. She asked me to help her. Please don't smoke. So she asked me not to smoke. These are requests. Okay. So this is how you report requests. Okay. Please help me. She asked me to help me. Please don't smoke. She asked me not to smoke. Could you bring my book tonight? She asked me to bring her book that night. So in these requests, in the case of these requests, the person is talking to you directly. Okay, the person is talking to you directly, which is why you don't need to use another person, which is why in most of these cases when you're reporting, you use me. She asked me. Okay, so she asked me to help her in the first case. So in the second, please don't smoke. She asked me not to smoke. Third, could you bring my book tonight? She asked me to bring her book that night. Could you pass the milk, please? She asked me to pass the milk. Would you mind coming early tomorrow? She asked me to come early the next day. These are just examples. Okay, so you can note them if you want. So these are just examples. Moving on, we'll learn the rules in detail. Okay. So this is the first most important rule. Okay, change of pronouns. Now in the previous this one sentence, in the previous slide we saw an example where she said I like ice cream. So here is a pronoun I. Okay, so I when reporting becomes she. Okay, I like ice cream is what she said. So if I reported, I use she. She said that. So how will you know what the gender of the person? Complete conversation will be given. Okay, the name of the person. Okay, and then the conversation. So you can easily assume the gender of the person. Okay, so I like ice cream. She said that she liked ice cream. Here you use a pronoun change. Okay, moving on. So I can become he or she depending on the context. Okay, me becomes him or her. We become they. Us will become them. You will become he, she, they. In the second example, you can also become him, her, them, depending on the context. My will become his, her. Mine can become his, hers. Our becomes their. Ours becomes theirs. Your becomes his, her, their. Yours becomes his, hers, theirs. One thing you should keep in mind, you will never get a second person, okay, sentence when reporting. Okay, in direct speech you may get second sentence, you are here, you are there, but when reporting you will never get a second person. Okay, what is second person? You. When I'm addressing you, that becomes second person. What is first person? I, me, we, etc. are first person. This is first person. Second person is you. Okay, then what would third person be? He, she, it, they. Okay, is third person. So most often when reporting, you only report it into third person. Okay, in the direct speech you may get first or second person, but when reporting most often you get third person. Okay, most often you get third person only. Second person you will never get, especially when you're converting into reported speech. You will never report it into second person, so you will never come when you're reporting. Okay, keep that rule in mind. So first person and third person may come when reporting, but you will never come, second person will never come when reporting. Keep this in mind. Okay, so to report a negative request, use not. For example, direct speech, please don't be late. Somebody tells me, please don't be late. Now I have to report that. Report speech. She asked us not to be late. It can be she also, it can be he also, depending on the context. Now if they say, Varun said, please don't be late, I can say, he asked, or Varun asked us not to be late. Suppose it is given, Lalita said, please don't be late. Then we can say, Lalita asked us not to be late, or she asked us not to be late. Okay. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is the tense change that I was talking about. Something very important, something most of you tend to make mistakes. Okay, so we discussed one tense change in the beginning. What was that? If the tense is in the simple present, when reporting it becomes simple past. So that is the first sentence here. So you have present simple, I like ice cream. So now I'm reporting that. She said that she liked ice cream. What is the tense of this sentence? What is the tense of this sentence? She said that she liked ice cream. What is the tense of that sentence? That is simple past. Similarly, present continuous. I am living in London. Okay. Now you have the be form of the verb and the verb in the ing form. So usually when the verb is in the ing form, say leaving, eating, leaving, eating, okay, drinking, driving, any verb in its ing form, most often it will be in the continuous form. Okay, continuous. So here you have the verb in the continuous form, the present continuous form. I am living in London is the present continuous form. So if present simple gets converted to past simple, what will present continuous get converted to? Past continuous. Correct. So this sentence, she said that she was living, is in the past continuous. Okay, so if I am living in London is in the present continuous, when reporting it becomes past continuous. Next, simple past. Okay, so something very important, simple past, I bought a car. Okay, now simple past it's already done, yes. Okay, simple past, I bought a car. But if I am reporting it, will it simply remain unchanged as simple past? No. This is where there's a catch. So you have to keep in mind, if the sentence is in simple past, when reporting, it becomes past perfect. Okay, keep it in mind. When reporting, it becomes past perfect. So you have the sentence in simple past. I bought a car. Now I am reporting that. She said that she had bought a car. She said that she had bought a car. She said that she had bought a car. So simple past gets converted to past perfect. Keep this in mind, okay? Simple past gets converted to past perfect. Next, past continuous. I was walking along the street. Okay? I was walking along the street. So if here simple past gets converted to a past perfect, what will past continuous get converted to? It will get converted to past perfect continuous. Are you thorough with the tenses? We have 12 tenses, okay? Among them, the last 3 tenses are the perfect continuous tenses. So you have the the past perfect continuous, the present perfect continuous, and the future perfect continuous. Remember? Okay. So here, if the tense of the sentence is in the past continuous, when converting it becomes past perfect continuous. So this sentence, okay, the tense of this sentence is in the past perfect continuous. Okay, past perfect continuous. Okay, moving on. The last, present perfect. Suppose the sentence is in the present perfect. When reporting, what will the tense be? So if the tense of the sentence is in the present perfect, when reporting it will be in the past perfect. Okay, so if the tense of the sentence is in the present perfect, when reporting it will be in the past perfect. So here you have present perfect, when reporting it becomes past perfect. So remember the first set of tense changes, okay? Because we are moving on to the next slide, okay? So yeah, again, the same change of tense, simple present getting converted to simple past with a different set of examples. Preeti said, I cook pasta. Preeti said that she cooked pasta. That is in the simple past. Present continuous. Preeti said, I am cooking pasta. Past continuous. Preeti said that she was cooking pasta. So that becomes past continuous. Present perfect. Preeti said, I have cooked pasta. Past perfect. Preeti said that she had cooked pasta. That becomes past perfect. So present perfect. Again, one more example. Preeti said, I have been cooking. Present perfect continuous. Yeah. So present perfect continuous. Preeti said, I have been cooking pasta. Present perfect continuous gets converted to past perfect continuous. The first four are pretty easy. Present getting converted to past. Simple present gets converted to simple past. Present continuous, past continuous. Present perfect, past perfect. Okay, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous. It gets a bit tricky from now on. Okay, so listen up. As I said earlier, simple past. Okay, if the tense is in simple past, see, we are always trying to be perfect, striving for perfection, right? So here we have past who is in a very simple form. So he wants to be perfect. Okay, so once he reaches perfection, he does not need to change. Okay, so here simple past, he's very simple. So what does he become? He becomes past perfect. Okay, he becomes past perfect. So Preeti said, I cooked pasta. Preeti said, I cooked pasta is in the simple past. Now if I have to convert, what should I convert it to? Past perfect. Preeti said that she had cooked pasta. Preeti said that she had cooked pasta. Again, keep in mind the change of pronouns. Okay, here in the direct speech it would have been I, but when reporting it becomes she. Do not forget this. Okay, first person or second person when converting will be most often third person. You will never have second person. Okay, when reporting you do not write you. Okay, that is wrong. You do not write you when reporting. That is wrong. Keep this in mind. Okay, so it will most often be first person or third person when reporting. Okay, Preeti said, I cooked pasta. Preeti said that she had cooked pasta. Okay, moving on. Yeah, here you have past continuous. Again, past continuous is in the simple form. Okay, but what did I say earlier? We are striving for perfection, striving to be perfect. So past continuous again becomes past perfect continuous. Okay, so Preeti said, I was cooking pasta. Preeti said, I was cooking pasta. How do I report that? Preeti said that she had been cooking pasta. So now when converting, the past continuous has become past perfect continuous. Okay, so the next one, past perfect. So what did I say earlier? Once you strive for perfection, once you become perfect, do you need to change? No. You're perfect already. Do you have to change? No. So in the same way, past perfect. Here past perfect is already perfect. So does it have to change? No change. So past perfect always gets converted to past perfect. But keep in mind the change of the pronouns. Okay. Preeti said, I had cooked pasta. So I here becomes she. Preeti said that she had cooked pasta. Everything else remains the same. Keep also in mind the double inverted comma will not be there. Okay, it will always get converted. Double inverted commas will not be there. Okay, moving on. Past perfect continuous. Again, what did I say? Perfect. So it does not have to change. So no change. Past perfect continuous remains past perfect continuous. The only thing that changes is the pronouns. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the next table that you have to keep in mind is the change of adverbs of place and adverbs of time. Okay, so most often this is another very silly mistake that most of you make. Okay, so keep this in mind. In direct speech, if you have this, okay, when reporting it becomes that. In direct speech, if it is these, when reporting it becomes those. Similarly, adverbs of place also. Here becomes there. In adverbs of time, now will become then. Okay, how will now become then? As I said earlier, when you are reporting something, when you are reporting an action, the action is already done in the past. It's completed. Okay, so I am reporting something that happened in the past. So it's always then. It's reported later. Okay, so the principal said, "Come to the office now." So how do I report it? The principal commanded me to come to the office then. Okay, this is how I report it, because the action is already complete. Okay, moving on. Today becomes that day. Okay, why does today become that day? Because somebody would have told this in the direct speech someday. Okay, we do not know what day. But when reporting, you may report this action either the next day or the next week also. So that is why you use that day. So today becomes that day. Tomorrow becomes the next day or the following day. Yesterday becomes the previous day. Tonight, that night. Last week, the week before. Next week, the week after. Last month, the previous month, or the month before is also fine. Moving on. Keep these in mind, okay? So these, okay, modals, modal verbs. So most often you get modals, especially when questions are asked. Could I please come to the party tomorrow? Or could you please join me to dinner today? Or could you please pass me the pen? These are times or places when you use the modals. Okay. So whenever you use modals, there would be a modal change also. So when does that happen? So here could remains unchanged. Okay. I could swim when I was 4. She said that she could swim when she was 4. Shall changes. Shall changes to what? Shall can change to should also. Shall can change to would also, depending on the context. I shall come later. She said that she would come later. Okay. Can be, shall can become should also, would also, depending on the context. Here again, should. I should call my mother. Should becomes unchanged. She said that she should call her mother. Might becomes unchanged. I might be late. She said that she might be late. Must, okay, must can become what? Must becomes, must, I would, although here you are given she must, I would advise you to use had to, okay. Must will always change to had to when reporting, okay. Must does not change to must when reporting. Must changes to had to only, okay. So follow the second example. She said that she had to study at the weekend. Must gets changed to had to when reporting. Okay, keep it in mind. Okay, change of modal verbs. Again, what we learned in the previous slide. So will becomes would. Will becomes would. Will you come with me? He asked, will you come with me? So he requested if I would or if he would come with him. Okay, so will becomes would, may becomes might, can becomes could, shall becomes should, has and have can become had. Okay, yeah. Now tips to practice reported speech. Here are some tips that you can follow to become a pro in using reported speech. Select a play, a drama or a short story with dialogues and try transforming the sentences in direct into reported speech. These are the exact kind of questions you'll be getting in the exam also. Okay, Don Gonzalo talking to Don Alora. Okay, a small conversation from a sunny morning. Or similarly, Alifano talking to Borges, a conversation. Okay, I believe books will never disappear, the lesson. So you are most often given conversations between two people, right? 4 or 5 lines of conversation that they're exchanging. You have to report the whole thing. Okay, that alone will be for 5 marks. Okay, so develop a story by following prompts on your own using reported speech. Okay, so given below are a few examples to show how reported speech can be written. Check them out. Okay, yeah. Now, this is another mistake that some of you make. So, when reporting a question. Now, if it is a WH question, you can write the WH question as it is. Okay. He asked, what are you doing here? He asked me what I was doing there. You can just report it as it is. He asked me what I was doing there. Suppose it is a yes or no question. Okay. A question that needs a reply of only a yes or a no. Suppose if it's a yes or no question. Okay. Like Rahul asked, are you coming to the trip tomorrow? Okay. So that's a yes or no question. How do I report that? So here you have a yes or no question. What if you need to report a yes or no question? We don't have any question words to help us. Instead we use if. If can also be used, whether can also be used. Okay. If or whether can also be used. If or whether can also be used. Okay. So here direct speech. Do you like chocolate? It's a yes or no question. Obviously you will get the answer yes or no. But you are not here to write the answer. You are here to report it. Okay. So she asked me if I liked chocolate. I can either report it that way or I can write she asked me whether I liked chocolate. You can write it either ways. So here are some more examples. Do you love me? He asked me if I loved him. Have you ever been to Mexico? She asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living here. So you can notice the tense change. Okay. Also here you can see it is in the present continuous. It becomes past continuous here. Have you ever been to Mexico? Again, you can see that there is a tense change here. Yeah, so notice the tense changes. Keep the tense changes in mind. Very important. Okay. Okay, moving on. Yeah, these are things that we have already discussed. The modals, the change in the modal verbs. Okay, will becoming would remaining unchanged, can becoming could. Okay, could remaining unchanged. Okay, so here is a sample question for you guys. Okay, so don't see the answers, see the questions. Okay, see the question. Take 2 minutes time to write the question. So the one on top is a question. Write the question. Okay, write the question. Do not see the answer. Write only the question, and then we'll see. Okay, so write the question. Take 2 minutes time to analyze it. Write your answer. Then look into the answer. Okay. Okay. So here we have the conversation between the prince and the minister. This is an excerpt from one of the lessons that we learnt. Which lesson was it? 2D. Okay. 2D. This is from 2D. So it's a conversation between the prince and the minister. Prince, you must find some cheaper way of dealing with this rascal. The present plan is too expensive. Minister, we must dismiss the guard. Prince, will it be a solution? Minister, yes, he will run away. So we have 4 dialogues between the prince and the minister. Okay. If we report this, if you report it correctly, you get 5 marks. So here is the answer. The prince told. I can write the prince told to the minister also. I can write the prince commanded to the minister also. Either ways is fine. The prince told to the minister that he had to find some cheaper way of dealing with that rascal. So you must find some way of, here it is must. So what did I tell you earlier? When reporting, must gets changed to had to. So must becomes had to here. So you must find some cheaper way of dealing with this rascal. Must becomes had to. Had to find some cheaper way of dealing with that rascal. Why that rascal? This becomes that. Okay, these are simple mistakes that you people commit when writing the exam, writing the answer, and you tend to lose marks also. The pronoun change, the change in the adverbs, etc. should be kept in mind. Okay, the very small errors can lead to loss of marks. So, way of dealing with that rascal. The present plan is too expensive. So how do I report that? To which, and that the present plan was too expensive. Okay, becomes was too expensive. Now, what the minister had to say, to which the minister replied that they had to dismiss the guard. So we must dismiss the guard. Again, as I said earlier, must becomes had to. Okay, so they had to dismiss the guard. The prince asked. So here it's a yes or no question the prince is asking. Will it be a solution? Is a yes or no question. So as I said earlier, how do you report a yes or no question? You use if or whether. Okay. So the prince asked if it would. Again, change in modal verb. Will becomes would. Okay. Will becomes would. So the prince asked if it would be a solution, to which the minister replied in the affirmative. Okay. Why did I add this affirmative? In the affirmative. Because he said yes here. Okay. So I cannot report yes as it is, which is why I use affirmative. Okay. He replied in the affirmative, meaning he replied yes. So you can do the same thing. If in the conversation yes is given, you can say in the affirmative. If it's no, you can say in the negative. Okay. So this is how you write it. The replied in the affirmative that he would run away. Will becomes would. Will becomes would. So this is how the model changes. Keep in mind when reporting the three things. One is the change in tense. Tense change is very important. Okay. Second is change of pronouns. Okay. The third is change of adverbs. Okay. And the fourth, the change of modals. Okay. If these four changes, okay, are correctly done in your paper, in the answer, you will get out of out. Okay. So these four changes should be made sure. And more importantly, if you are given double inverted comma in the direct speech, suppose you get a double inverted comma. Say this is the double inverted comma you're getting. Okay. So if you're getting the double inverted comma, also the double inverted comma disappears. Okay, it just becomes a normal sentence when reporting. There will be a double inverted comma in the direct speech, but you do not use a double inverted comma in the reported speech. In the reported speech. Another thing is, suppose there's a question mark. Okay, suppose you may find question mark or exclamatory mark. So when you're reporting, it should just be a full stop. Okay, do not carry the question mark to the answer. Same way, do not carry the exclamatory mark also to the answer. It should only be a full stop, dot. Okay, moving on. Okay, moving on to the last and most important part, I would say, the letter of application. Okay, letter of application we discussed this in the previous class as well. The formal letter format. Okay, and not just the formal letter, you also write the resume. At the end of the letter, you will write something called enclosed resume, and then you write the resume after the letter. Okay, so here we have a sample question. Write a letter to the coordinator, Center for Yoga and Meditation, MG Road, Mysuru, asking him about the courses in yoga and meditation they offer. Your letter should include the following points: duration of the course, fees for the course, date of commencement. Okay, so that is a question. Here is your answer. From address. Okay. From address, as I said in the last class also, the name is very important. Okay, write the name also with the from address. In the previous classes you would have learned otherwise, but here in the PU you should write your name also along with the from address. Okay, so name and the from address, the full date, then to address along with the designation to whom you are writing. That would most often be given in the question itself. Write a letter to the coordinator. So here the same designation should be given. And the address also will be given in the question itself. You write the same address. Okay. From address you can make it up. It's up to you. Moving on. Okay. Salutation. Okay. In the grammar book, it's given dear. Okay. Although I would personally not advise you to use dear, because dear is a largely informal way of addressing a person. Okay. Respected sir/madam is more advisable, because it's very formal. Okay, and if you're writing a letter to a higher authority, respected is better. You can either write respected sir, madam, or you can skip respected altogether and just write sir, madam. Okay, sir or madam. Okay, after the salutation you write the subject. The word subject should be written. Okay, and then next to that the subject. So what is the subject? It is a very small sentence giving a brief hint of what the content of your letter is. So suppose the person is busy and the person cannot read the whole letter. By simply reading the subject, the person should understand what the letter is about, giving a small essence of the letter. This is the body of the letter. Okay. In the exam, I would advise you to write the body of the letter, compartmentalize the body of the letter into 3 paragraphs, okay? Here you have only 1 paragraph, but I would personally advise you to compartmentalize the letter into 3 paragraphs, okay? 3 paragraphs, an introduction, getting into the actual topic, then concluding the letter. So the body should be divided into 3 paragraphs, simply because it looks aesthetically good, aesthetically pleasing, okay, to the reader. And align the whole letter to the left, okay? The whole letter, including the closure, should be to the left. Next, you close it with thank you. Do not use thanking you. Thanking you is wrong. Thank you is correct. Then you close it, the complimentary closure. Okay, the closure of the letter. Yours sincerely is fine. Yours sincerely, Rashmi. So, yours sincerely is most acceptable also. Yours obediently, please don't use that. Yours sincerely, yours faithfully is also fine. Okay, moving on. Okay, here is your resume format. Okay, resume format as what can I say, as given by from the PU board itself. Now, resume does not have a format as such in real life. You can design the resume or the curriculum vitae the way you like. But the PU board wants you to write the resume in a specific format. This is a format that you should follow. Okay, the name first, the full name. You should write name, and only then you should write the name. Father's name should be written, and next to that the name of the father. The date of birth / age. You can write either of the two. Okay, you don't have to necessarily have to write both. You can write either of the two, date of birth or age, and next to that write the actual details. Permanent address. Okay, in 2 or 3 lines. The nationality. Okay, then knowledge of languages, education qualifications. Knowledge of languages, nationality, again it's optional. You don't necessarily have to remember them, but the first 3, okay, the first 3 are very important. Okay, first 3 are very important. In the same way, educational qualification and experience is also very important. Okay, so these things are very important in the resume. Now, should you find it difficult to remember the whole resume, what are the things you should remember? These things you should. Okay, again, keep in mind, I'm not telling you to forget the other things. You should study the whole thing. Okay, but if you cannot study the whole thing, I would personally suggest you to write these things at least. Do not forget these. These are very important. Okay, the name, father's name, date of birth, and your permanent address. Okay, that and the educational qualifications with your experience. Why experience? Because it's a letter of application. You're applying for a job. So when you're applying for a job, obviously they will check for your work experience. Now, even if you have 0 work experience, you can write you're a fresher. Okay, fresher is what you write. Okay, or you can just make up experience, say 10 years worked in that place, 2 years worked in that place. Of course, you people are creative, so use your creativity in filling up those details. Okay, so educational qualifications, you should be drawing a table. Okay, very important, because evaluators will be checking this table, okay, in the resume. So name of the examination is in the first column. The second column, the board or university. So name of the examination, meaning now if you are in 10th, you would have written the 10th board exam. So that is the name of the exam, SSLC. Okay, or if you are in 12th, you would have written the second PUC board exam. Now the board. Now suppose if you are in CBSE, you write CBSE. Or if you are state, you write state board, Karnataka state board. Or if you are in ICSE, you write ICSE. University. Now when you go do the higher education, say engineering or diploma or say or BBA, you study under university. So you write the name of the university. Next, the year of passing. You can make all that up. Marks percentage. Again, make all that up. Then the subjects. Subjects meaning the core subjects that you studied. Now if you're studying engineering, what is the core subject that you study? Say CS. Or now if you're in 12th, PCMB or PCMC would be the core subjects. Experience. Okay, write the experience accordingly. And next, these are all optional, but if you can study the whole thing, it will be all the more better. Okay, other interests, hobbies. Okay, like what you're good at or what you do in your free time. And last but not the least, place and date. Okay, place, that is where you're writing, from where you're writing, and the date when you're writing this, and then your signature towards the right. This is the resume as prescribed by the PU board. Okay, keep this in mind. Do not get confused. So we have a sample question here. The following advertisement appeared in the Indian Express on 3rd Feb 2014. Write a letter of application in response to it. So this is how the question is going to be, okay? And you will be given a newspaper advert. Okay, so what can you deduce from this? So here the qualification is given. This is the qualification that the person should have applying for the job, and this is the to address. Okay, so it's the to address, and what is the job you are applying to? Junior assistant. Okay, so your subject should be this: applying for the post of junior assistant. So these are the things that you can deduce from the question itself. Okay. The following advertisement appeared in the New Indian Express on 3rd February. So after subject, you write something called reference. Just next to subject. Reference. What is the reference? I came across so and so details. That is reference. Okay. So next slide. So look at the following letter. So XX, yeah. Yeah. So the last thing that I forgot to explain. So in some questions, XXX for your name and YYY for your address will be given. Okay, please notice this. Okay, in some questions they may specify write XXX for your name and YYY for your address. If that is the case, do the same. If this is not given, if the underlined part, if this is not given in the question, then you can write your own name and address. If your own name and address, if this is not given, you can write your own name and address. But if this is specified, please write accordingly. Okay. Meaning, I'll show it to you. Look at the following letter. So, just like as in the previous, this one, XXX for the name, YYY for the address. Okay, that is the from, name and address. Leave a line, date. Leave a line, designation and the to address. Leave a line, sir, madam. As I said earlier, you can either write respected sir, madam or sir, madam. Next, subject, application for the post of junior assistant. Okay, next thing after subject that you should write in job application letter is reference. Why reference? Because you would have come across this from somewhere else. So that is reference. So in the question it was given a newspaper advertisement from the New Indian Express. So write that next to reference. You should write reference and next to that this, your advertisement in the New Indian Express dated 3rd February. Only after writing the reference should you proceed to the body of the letter. Okay, the body of the letter. Again, as I said earlier, 3 paragraphs. Here you can see how beautifully they have compartmentalized into 3 paragraphs. Okay, it looks beautiful. It looks aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so compartmentalize the letter into 3 paragraphs. Then conclude. Thank you. As I just said earlier, it's thank you, not thanking you. Okay, yours faithfully is fine. Yours sincerely is also fine. You can write your name or your signature. Okay, XXX because that was what was given in the question. Okay, don't write your own name. It's XXX if it is specified in the question. Okay, moving on. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so that's it. The most important topics for the upcoming preparatory exam has all been covered. Okay, stay tuned for more videos, and the link is given in the subscription for accessing more such content. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, this is your very own DMG signing off. We'll meet with more such informative videos. A very good day to you. All the best for your preparatory exam as well as your final exam. Thank you.